Hello. So today I am out on location in Staithes. If you know where it is, or if you don't know where it is in fact, then you probably don't have kids under the age of about 5, because this is where Old Jack's boat is filmed. It's just up the coast from Whitby, and we're here on holiday, which is why my hair's up. I'm in holiday mode, and I'm taking, a bit of the evening. Kids are asleep already because it's been one of them exhausting days. Tide is out, so I'm just exploring the local area, the rock pools. There's so much to photograph though. We came last year, and it was before I started vlogging, before I started doing photography properly, really. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting intimate landscapes, sort of within the rock crevices, and the shots of Staithes itself, with where we were staying and the pub, like long exposures on an evening and stuff. So the idea is to get a little bit creative and create a few vlogs this week. So this is the first one. As I say, the tide's low, so I'm just gonna hop around the rocks and see what grabs my attention. So let's go. It's really nice. I'm just going to try and get a little bit creative. I've spotted it's a drainage pipe, I think, but it's sort of sticking up out at the end looking out to sea, which I think could make a really, really nice composition. Apart from that, I think I'm going to have to look fairly intimately into the landscape like I did last year. I was looking in the crevices, the nooks and crannies, trying to make little things look really big. The tide is almost at low tide, so I want to be fairly quick. Right, so I've just set up this shot of this pipe looking out into the sea. I have to admit the composition is pretty good, if I say so myself, but this shot is just coming to an end, and I think I can probably get away with a longer exposure. I've just done a 30-second exposure of this pipe looking out towards the sea. It's still fairly bright, so I've messed around my settings and I've got it so I can I've just done a 30-second one, as I said, but it's still fairly dark, so I reckon I can probably do a minute, which should smooth out the sea and draw your attention into this sort of pipe end, which hopefully will look pretty good. I've got to admit, this shot does look pretty good. The composition is one of my best, I think. I've just set off another one though at about a minute, because obviously the sea is going to be doing different things every time. So if I take a few, the sea will be smoothed out in different ways, so then I can then pick my favourite. So here it is, and on to the next shot. In fact, before I move on to the next shot, I think this composition, this subject, is one which is sort of a little bit crying out for a different angle as well. So I've moved my gear slightly, and I'm going to try and get the waves are coming in at an angle rather than flat on. I was shooting flat on to the sea with the pipe leading out to the sea. So it might create a bit more interest if I, angle off a little bit and shoot towards the actual waves coming in. Let's see what happens. The only thing I haven't thought about here, which is why I'm ducking down, is shadows, because the sun's behind me, which is offering some beautiful light. However, obviously it's then casting my shadow, the camera's shadow, the GoPro shadow, casting loads of shadows. I'm going to fire it off again. I don't think there's any shadows in the shot, so let's try one more time. The sea is definitely on the way in again. I think low tides, it's hit low tide and it's turned around. I think I'm going to retreat slightly away from the shore and look for some more intimate landscapes. Scrap that idea. I think there's one more shot here somewhere. So let's try and find it, shall we? I'm not sure whether this is the shot that I thought was going to be here or not. Let's take a look. Anchoring down, anchoring the tripod down as the wind's picking up, and we'll see. No, far too windy, the camera's moving. Looks a little bit abstract. It might be quite good once we get it on the computer. But the wind is coming, the waves are coming in, the tide's on its way. Let's get back a little bit. What I'm doing now is I'm using the sort of little crevices, the waterways that have been created between the rocks and through the rocks, which have got shells and stuff attached to them, algae. And I think they look like, when you get really close to them, I think they look like valleys. Hopefully you'll know what I mean when you see it. So I'm just taking a few pictures of those as I sort of head back. There's some really nice ones, and hopefully the pictures will speak for themselves. Well, I've just got one final shot on this destitute, desolate rock pool area. I've got a lovely pool leading you up into the horizon. There's some lovely weather going on north of me, further up the coast. So I've got my wide angle lens out, 10mm, hopefully a lovely shot. I've also got a chap standing in it as well, because, let me get another one because he's just stood back up. I was just chatting to him and he's a fellow photographer. So I didn't catch his second name, but if you're watching, Adam, hello. So I think that is me from here, from this location for today. Please like, subscribe and comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please like the video, and any comments I'll reply to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.